All right, let's get right into it. For pretty much as long as we've been writing code, the code editor has been a developer's most sacred space. It's like their own custom digital workshop. But now, a new tool called Cursor is making some serious waves. And it's forcing developers to ask a question they probably never thought they would. Is it actually time to ditch their most trusted tool for an AI sidekick?
I mean, just listen to that. That's from a developer, Sean Mayer. And uninstalling VS Code, that's like a master chef throwing away their favorite knife. It tells you right away that something fundamental is changing in the kitchen.
So, what is the big deal here? What could possibly be so powerful that it makes someone break years of muscle memory and, frankly, loyalty to their editor? Well, the answer isn't just some flashy new feature or a cool extension. It's a total rethinking of the entire coding process, built from the ground up with AI at its very core.
So let's talk about what's really driving this shift. You see, Cursor isn't just another plugin you bolt onto your existing setup. It's a completely different kind of environment, one that's designed for AI from day one.
Now, the key phrase here is a fork of Visual Studio Code. And honestly, this was a brilliant move. Instead of making you learn a whole new tool from scratch, it's built on top of the most popular editor in the world. You can just import all your settings, your themes, your extensions, and you feel right at home. It's all the familiarity you're used to, but with these new superpowers hiding just under the surface. So let's actually get into those superpowers, because this is really where Cursor stops feeling like just a tool and starts feeling more like a real collaborator, a partner sitting next to you while you code.
This right here, this is the secret sauce. While a lot of other AI tools, like GitHub Copilot, they mostly just see the single file you're working on, Cursor sees the entire map. It indexes your whole project, so it knows how your front end talks to your back end, it knows where all your helper functions live, and knows what your tests cover. This full project context is what really unlocks its most incredible abilities.
And that codebase awareness powers a whole suite of amazing features. You can just hit Command-L and ask, hey, where do we handle user authentication? And boom, it'll show you. Or you can highlight a really messy function, hit Command-K, and just type in plain English, refactor this, make it more efficient, and add some error handling. It's just a completely different way to interact with your code. And for the really brave, there's something called YOLO mode. Think of it like test-driven development on steroids. You just describe what you want to build and how to test it. The AI then gets into this loop where it writes the tests, then it writes the code to pass the tests, runs them, sees what failed, and then it fixes its own code and tries again over and over until everything passes. You're not really a coder anymore at that point. You're more like a manager, just overseeing an AI that does all the grunt work.
But, of course, it's not all magic and rainbows. A tool this new and ambitious is gonna have some rough edges, and you better believe users have found them.
Yeah, these are the real-world problems. The performance can sometimes slow to a crawl. The AI can get confused and just stick code in the completely wrong file, and sometimes it just totally forgets what you were even talking about 5 minutes ago. And then you've got the elephant in the room. Cursor is a tiny startup going up against a behemoth like Microsoft. What happens if they can't keep up with VS Code's updates? Or even worse, what if they just run out of money? And while all those issues are definitely frustrating, they're, mostly fixable things. The bigger and kind of scarier risks lie in the very idea of handing over so much control to an AI in the first place. Think about it. When you give an AI deep access to your entire code base and the power to execute commands on your machine, you're opening up brand new ways for attackers to get in. And this isn't some far-off theoretical threat. It has already happened. That quote is from the Hacker News, and it should send a shiver down any developer's spine. Full remote code execution. That basically means an attacker can take over your computer, steal your passwords, your secret keys, and get access to all of your private code.
And just look at how this attack works. It's so sneaky. It's not a direct hack. It's what's called prompt injection. An attacker just hides a malicious command inside a public Slack message. Later, when an unsuspecting developer asks Cursor to, say, summarize their Slack channel, the AI reads that malicious prompt, gets tricked into rewriting its own config files, and then executes the attacker's code. It's a whole new type of vulnerability for a whole new type of tool.
So, beyond security, tools like Cursor are forcing us to ask some really big, profound questions about the future of software development itself. I mean, what does it even mean to be a coder when a machine is doing most of the actual coding?
This data from a recent Stack Overflow survey just shows this huge paradox that's happening right now.
On the one hand, you have almost 3/4 of developers saying they have a favorable view of AI tools. But then, on the other hand, 2/3 of those same developers say they don't actually trust the accuracy of the code the AI spits out. We love the idea, but we are deeply skeptical of the reality.
And this is a huge concern, especially for people who are just starting their careers. This research paper points out that relying too much on these tools can actually harm your critical thinking. I mean, if you never have to struggle through debugging a tricky problem or figuring out a complex algorithm for yourself, are you really learning how to solve problems? Or are you just learning how to write good prompts?
And that brings us to this massive, completely unresolved legal and ethical question. When an AI writes a block of code for you, code that it learned from a giant data set of other people's work, who actually owns it?
So Cursor's official legal answer is pretty simple. You own it. End of story. But the reality in the developer world has always been a lot more nuanced. Programmers have been copying and pasting code snippets from places like Stack Overflow for decades. So for many, the real ethical debate isn't about some impossible standard of pure originality, it's about being transparent and acknowledging where your solutions are coming from.
Okay, so after weighing the incredible power against the bugs, the security holes, and all the thorny ethical questions, where's that leave us? What's the final verdict?
It really comes down to this trade-off, doesn't it? On the pro side, you've got this amazing code base awareness and automated workflows that can make you ridiculously productive. But on the con side, you're dealing with performance issues, very real security threats, and that long-term risk that your own coding skills might get rusty.
And of course, this kind of power doesn't come free. To unlock the really good stuff, the Pro plan is going to set you back $20 a month. Now, just for context, that's double the price of its main rival, GitHub Copilot. So you really have to ask yourself if that deep codebase awareness is worth the extra cash.
So I think ultimately, here's the bottom line. For a senior developer, someone who can spot bad code a mile away, who can debug what the AI gives them, who understands the security risks, Cursor could be an absolute game changer, a massive force multiplier. But for a beginner, someone who might just blindly trust whatever the AI generates, it could be a really dangerous crutch that teaches bad habits and introduces subtle bugs they'll never find.
And that really leaves us with the final big question, not just about Cursor, but about this entire new generation of AI tools. Are they a hammer that will help us build amazing things, bigger and faster? Or are they more like an exoskeleton that will become so dependent on that our own muscles start to wither away? The answer to that is probably going to shape the entire future of software development.